My name, once again, is Sergeant Chris Shank. You've actually, what's better position, over here or over here? Can people see me? Does it matter? Just one.
You know what, maybe
Just,
you guys sit that way.
oh, no, we're good. You're good. I apologize. So thank you for showing up tonight. Thank you, everyone. It was good seeing you at the BEAT meeting, and hopefully we'll see you at further BEAT meetings. This is an actual workshop, public safety workshop, so we're going to go through it. And most of my workshops are interactive, where we can actually talk with each other about public safety. So the presentation will help you become aware of your surroundings, suggestible, helpful safety tips. Using good judgment and common sense is always important and is actually the key to safety. Discuss types of emergencies and how you can prepare. So, intuition. The first 10 seconds you saw me, you probably wanted to walk out this door, but no. The first 10 seconds you probably said your judgment, either, you know, this guy's a good guy, bad guy, etc. It's one of those things that, as human nature, we basically make a judgment call in that first 10 seconds. So I have 7-9 up there, 7-9 seconds. Why would I have 7-9 seconds on the board? Anyone?
Because by 10 something happens sometimes.
7-9 seconds is usually the length of an attack, a robbery, a street robbery. To that victim, it seems like a lifetime. That thing could happen 7-9 seconds. For instance, with the cell phone, you come up to the person, you grab it right out of their hand. Can I borrow your cell phone? I don't mean to make any calls, so just thank you.
Okay.
I won't call long distance Japan. So the actual cell phone in itself, we don't hold on to the cell phone like a brick of gold. Am I wrong or right? We don't sit there when we're talking. It's actually a security blanket, right? We feel comfortable using the phone when we're walking at night. And when we use this phone, if we don't have hands-free and earpiece device, we basically, what is our actual physical gesture when we're actually using the phone? Do we look up or do we tend to look down? Down. Okay. So when we look down, Harriet, one of our role players tonight, come on down. So here's a cell phone, correct? So she has the cell phone right here, and most of the attacks, where would I attack Harriet? That side, right? And I would attack from behind. So she's using the phone, she's looking down. How hard is it for me to grab this phone? Now she's tightened up. I saw you tighten up.
Yes, I did. It's instinct.
It's instinct, but the initial reaction is person snatches out of your hand, and if they have to, they can push you and grab the phone and keep on running. That is one of the tactics they use. Cell phones will go into that a little bit more during the actual course, the actual workshop, and don't feel that you're going to hold up the presentation, but please do ask questions. I encourage you to ask questions. Trust a gut feeling. Always go with that gut feeling. Some people suppress that emotion. All right, so if you feel like someone is following you, and you take a left, take a right, take a left, and you feel like this, either you're in a car or on foot, trust that gut feeling. Call 911. Go to your local police station. Go to your local fire station. Go to your hospital. Why do I say hospital? Because the hospital's open 24 hours a day, and they do have security. Know on your route where the actual police station is. To your work route, to your family route, wherever you're going. Hey, I know where the 12th district is. I know where the 14th district is. Know where your local fire station is. Why do I say know where your local fire station is? Open 24 hours. So it's things like that that you need to know and prepare yourself before you leave the house. So mentally prepared. I'm always a big believer in visualization leads to actualization. You gotta, if you're gonna do something, you gotta prepare yourself for it. In case of an emergency, in case something does happen, you wanna make sure that you can prepare yourself, okay? So if someone came up to you and asked you for your purse, what would you say to them? Give your purse, right? And the person presents a gun, presents a knife. You would give it to them. Or the person grabs you, give me your purse. What would you do? You'd give it to them to not further any other harm that comes to you. Your purse, your wallet, anything of monetary value, Give it up. It's not worth your well-being. And ignorance is your friend, is not your friend. Reason why I say ignorance is not your friend, because that thing in our heads that said, that can't happen to me. When we watch news at night, that can't happen to me. And I hate to say this, sure it can. You've got to believe that you've got to prepare for an emergency. Preparing for an emergency makes a crisis into inconvenience. Make sure you prepare yourself not only physically but mentally as well. So, not making yourself a victim. Always be aware of your surroundings. Try to keep your hands, your actual hand free. Walk with a purpose. What do I mean by walking with a purpose? Confident. There was a study done 10 years ago. Don't quote me on it, but there was a study done 10 years ago where they actually presented photos to people in a prison, where they actually showed the actual body gestures of people, and they asked them, who would you attack? And the majority of them said that they attacked the people who were slumped over, and the body language was kind of meek. The actual other ones they kind of like were kind of, hey, we want to attack, is the ones of confidence. And when I say confidence, I'm not talking about arrogance. Arrogance is, right? Confidence is walking basically, right? Where you just basically, you feel secure. These are just tips. They're not 100% preventive safety measures. These are tips. These are things that I want you to know about. 95% of the attacks occur from behind. Carry a pen, personal arms, keys. You notice one thing that's not up there I don't mention. Mace. Mace is a toxin, basically a toxic chemical agent. OC spray. Here's the problem with these sprays. Okay? Sprays can be what?
Used against you.
Used against you. And if there's a strong wind and you spray at this person, the actual what? Come back to you. I, personally, I'm affected very little with the spray. So I'll just tell you personally, I literally was sprayed twice in the police academy. And it didn't have that much of effect. It finally made me tear, swell up. And basically OC spray is using concentrated jalapeno pepper juice. So it actually, your nostrils, your breathing airways get clogged up, your eyes tear up, and it basically puts you in kind of a short form paralysis where you just basically don't do anything. Make sense? Any questions so far?
When you say OC spray, what do you
OC is basically it's basically a aerosol in a form where it sprays out and it actually hits the offender, and it actually basically puts them in a short-term paralysis where they actually can't do anything because it affects their eyes and their breathing. So it's basically more or less kind of a natural form than the actual mace. The old mace, we got to get mace, but mace was an agent, and you don't know what mace can do. It could basically create burns permanently on the person. You don't care as long as it's legal and it's sold across the counter. Like I said, I don't recommend it, but it's up to you. Okay, safety begins at home. Building safety. So know your building. How many people live in a apartment complex, condominium complex? Okay. So do you know your neighbors? Okay, do you know all your neighbors in the building? Okay, that is awesome, because the biggest thing when you start off, besides safety at home, when you live in a building, you want to know your neighbors, not only in the building, but you want to know when your neighbors next door, because in buildings, big buildings, you actually come across people that you don't know. Who is this person that's walking through? I don't know that person, but some people are too afraid to approach that person, which is totally understandable, and I don't suggest it, but if you have door personnel, call them and say, hey, is there someone, a guest visiting? Is there some work being done in this building that we don't know of? When construction is done in your building, make sure that everyone knows there's construction being done in the building, and make sure that that the owner is liable for that person being in that building. Safety is #1 priority. Know your stairwells, okay? Make sure you know your stairwells. Check your locks. Use your locks, because sometimes in buildings, you leave your doors open, right? To get the laundry. Do you have laundry units in your unit? Outside. And sometimes it's very convenient just to leave it open. Oh, I'm just going to throw a load in and I'll be right back.
I actually don't, but I can see why people.
Oh, no. I stand corrected. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Oh, no. But here's the thing when I talk about checking your locks, especially in your house as well. Very important, because Chicago doesn't have the actual 70-degree weather year-round, which I wish it did. Believe me, after facing this weather right now, I'm sure it's going to get worse. But we've had very mild winters so far, the past 3 years, right? Maybe, Farmer's Almanac's predicting we're going to have a really bad winter. And I'm not doing weather today, so just to let you know on CAN TV. So one of the things you got to think about is your actual contraction of the metal, an expansion of the metal. And it takes a wear and tear on your actual locks. That's why if you see any wear and tear on it, your door is sticking, it's jamming, it's not actually working correctly, make sure you have someone come out and fix it yourself. If it's beyond reasonable time of the actual doorknobs or the locks, replace them. Or have someone come out, have someone take a look at it and tell you, basically consult on whether you should change them or not. And during daylight savings time, you might want to just make sure this light maintenance, maybe a little oil, maybe a little WD-40, it actually helps and goes a long way. So how many people here have cameras on their building or in their building? What was that?
It's fake.
So,
I know quite a few people who actually have fake cameras.
so I know, here's the thing.
No one knows right.
So urban lore goes that fake cameras, people have gotten sued over fake cameras. That and beware of dog sign. So it creates a liability issue. I'm just letting you know, this is.
Why is it a dog sign liability issue?
Case study showed, I don't know. But they were actually, there was lawsuits for that. Because of the false sense of security. So,
For someone in the building?
I'd be lying to you if I said I knew. But I'm not a lawyer, but these are like cases that you could probably look them up. So just letting you know. Any security is better than no security. So having a door person, having those cameras, having those lights. We actually talk, when we talk about cameras, going back to cameras, touching cameras a little bit more, triangulation of your cameras. And when you do get cameras, the actual camera itself acts as a deterrent. The footage helps us catch that person. The actual quality of that footage, like high definition, megapixel, if you have like 40 megapixels, helps us convict that individual. So I'm a big proponent of triangulation of cameras, because triangulation of cameras, if the person's walking in, person trying to duck their head, and they look to the left, what do they have? A camera right here, right? They look to there, they look to the right, camera right there. Gives us a good profile, mugshot. And then if they put their head up, what? They catch our face. So I'm a big believer in quality cameras. So. Prevention by appearance approach, like someone walking your building, you might want to go in safety numbers, or you might want to call the police to check it out. Once again, going back to, that's someone that probably is visiting, right? You go to the back to that's someone just visiting. That's just for us, just justification to make us feel better, make us sleep at night. Who knows? Check it out. Just say, hey, call someone up. Say, hey, there's someone actually knocking on your door, going back to knowing your neighbors. Who knows? They might be having a Super Bowl party. One of the things with buildings is the piggyback. So, we're doing the nice thing, holiday season, we're holding the door for that person to come in. Let me get the door. He has packages, or he has a bag, or they're helping you out. If you don't know this person, no, I got it, thanks. Take time, put the packages down. If someone's trying to knock on your door to get in, hey, these are safety tips. I would not let them in. I would say, hey, who are you visiting? Oh, John Smith. There's no John Smith here. So it's just, you can actually challenge them, not exactly challenge them as in a fist fight, but just question why they're actually coming in, who you're here to see. before you open the door. Do not open the door, and you can talk through them. If you can talk through them through the door, the glass, talk through them through that glass door. So, but another thing with actual buildings, lighting. Have appropriate lighting. Cameras, you can actually, the maintenance on cameras actually help very tremendously too with the actual footage. Sometimes, oh, I need a new camera. All you have to do is clean the lens. And it helps tenfold. It helps tremendously. Maintenance on the camera helps out a lot. Maintenance on lighting fixtures. All you have to do is a moist cloth and wipe that light and that lighting fixture, and it brightens up the area. Also with lighting, you want triangulation as well. You want the lights to work in conjunction, in course with each other. So reflecting down, because you don't want to be that neighbor where, oh, the Johnsons keep on having that light, and it, like my neighbor, for instance. My neighbor has a light, and the camera's getting it right now. My neighbor has a light that just is basically on, off, on, has sensors on it, on, off. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm walking down, and the sensor just pierces right through my house, into my kitchen, into my dining room, and I'm blinded. Of course, my dog doesn't like it either, so PC has a bed down there. So anyhow, getting back to it, you want to make sure the maintenance of the actual lights work. Take care of it on a regular basis because we collect a lot of dirt, a lot of dust in the city, once again, with our weather. Any questions so far? No one asleep?
No.
Awesome. All right, so before leaving your home or work, determine your travel routes and time. Leave pertinent information with your friend or family members, destination, expected time of return, even on the phone. Hey, I'm going to Gibson's for a steak. That would never come out of me, but I'm going to Sizzler for a all-you-can-eat shrimp fest. So make sure you try to communicate amongst where you're going. Let them know what you're doing. Keep them aware of it. And when I say determine travel routes, always determine 2 other travel routes. Try to have 3. Once again, going to if you're being followed. Same thing with foot traffic. Hey, stay in a lighted area when in foot traffic. You want to make sure. And in your neighborhood, at night when you're walking McRuff or Ruffy, you want to make sure you take a look around and see if any lights are out on your street. Very important. Even in your alley, do not walk through your alley. We have alley safety tips right there. So, when I say less is more, what do I mean by that?
Don't carry things you don't need.
Exactly. My mom, when she used to go shopping, her purse must have weighed 50 pounds. I mean, she had her life in there. I felt bad for anyone that would attack her because that thing, and my mom, very stubborn lady. So, but you want to just carry an ID, cell phone, ATM card. Maybe if you carry cash, 20 to 40 bucks. The thing is also, when you put your purse, when you go shopping, who puts it in the actual front cart?
I'll have my hands through it at the same time.
Okay, that's good. It's not suggested because sometimes we walk away and look at that cantaloupe and try to measure up that what kind of cantaloupe, which one's better, and do we pick from the back or we pick from the front? Hey, you back, very good, 100% correct. Who said back? Always go to the back. It's actually kind of a game show. Guess what you won? Ladies and gentlemen, she won a Chicago Police Star. Congratulations. I didn't do the game show voice. Tell them what she's won, Johnny. Anyhow, you want to carry less is more. You want to make sure that if you're carrying a bag, you're actually traveling to O'Hare, Midway, or the train station. Adequate locks, going back to the locks. Please lock your door. Check your door, make sure it's locked. If you can double lock. Safety sometimes might be inconvenient, but it's worth it. Upon returning home, make sure you have lights on, a night light, a light in your window. If you need to take care of any gardening as far as trimming your trees, make sure your trees are trimmed. Now it's winter, you don't have to worry about it except for you have your evergreen trees in front of your house. Make sure you're, once again, going back to the lighting. Lighting's very important. And if you have a light sensor, fine, fantastic, but make sure your lights are working correctly and appropriately. Be a friend, buddy system. Hey, you know what, if maybe share a taxi with the person going home, or if that person doesn't live too far, do buddy system, walk with that person. Try to time it together. Make sure you're walking with that person. Walking, believe me, numbers is a deterrent. All right, so you and how the robber sees you. So this actually, the phone you see there is an iPhone. Does everyone know the iPhone app, Find My iPhone? Okay. Biggest thing with that, I'm actually going to the bottom and jumping around a little bit. Know your serial number, username, password, because we have people that are trained to find your phone. That goes for Samsung, goes for Apple as well. When walking while using with your cell phone, I hate to do it to you, Harriet. I'm gonna have to use your phone. So going back to it, so walking with your cell phone, if you can, do not walk with your cell phone. If you are walking, make sure you let that person know you're on their line. I'm walking on Chicago, heading towards Western, and then just give play-by-play, just so they know where you're at. Because if I lose contact with you, please call back, or call, if I don't pick up, call 911. Because we've had this, I've had phone carrier, which I won't mention, that actually drops left and right. And people were like, oh, I didn't hear back from you in 10 minutes. Call them back. Just tell them what's going on. If you lose the phone, start banging on doors. Just like I said, if someone asks for your phone, throw it, get out of the way. If someone asks for your wallet, throw the wallet, get it out of the way. Just throw it away from you. Don't, monetary value is not worth your well-being. Thanks for your cell phone. Appreciate it. Hands-free, hands-free. Do not lend your phone out. Okay? One of the things is, I know everyone, I heard a few people, we had this presentation over the 12th district. How many people have let a stranger use their cell phone? See some people rolling their eyes and thinking about it.
No, I haven't. It's my bathroom.
Okay, well, if you feel the humanitarian in all of us, hey, what's the number you're calling? And make sure you're at a distance away from the person. If you don't feel comfortable calling that number, hey, don't use their cell phone. I don't have a cell phone. Just let it go. Okay? But you might want to call 911 just in case this person's asking for, he or she might need help. So you're giving them help. You're helping them out because they're asking to use someone's cell phone and they're in distress. Maybe they need a ride, maybe they need something else, maybe they're up to no good. You don't know. This person needs help. So just think about that when you're actually basically asked to use your cell phone. So there was basically, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it, but who wants to be a volunteer? A role player? Anybody?
Okay.
Come on. So what's going to happen is we are going to pull a scam. And guess who?
Me.
No. You and I are a team.
Oh, God.
We're on the same team. We're yes. So what's going to happen is, here, hold this. There's actually a bogus a group of teens that are going around the neighborhood, basically soliciting for a fictitious organization. Let's use Raptor basketball. Fictitious. So there's one person that approaches Harriet. So no, you sit down. You're eating. You're at Megabucks Cafe, and you're sitting there. And I'm going to approach you from the right. I'm going to her right side. You're going to approach from the left. You're going to go around.
Okay.
So when I come up to Harriet, she's actually drinking, eating, and just minding her own business, watching TV. And this usually happens in restaurants, bars. So I come up to her, and I know you're not going to catch this, sorry. And I throw the flyer on her phone. They basically just nonchalantly, casually throw it and go, hey, this is Raptor basketball. This is a flyer. We're trying to get enough money to actually go out in a bus, get us go out to Omaha, Nebraska, and we're looking for funds, and we're going from place to place. Her initial response will be yes or no, and she'll pull out money or cash, and they're already ahead on that. But if she says no, my partner over there distracts her. Now it's your turn. Why won't you give? It's a good charity.
Great cause.
So at that time, as she says it, I grab her phone. And she's still distracted, and they're more professional, more nonchalant about it, but they grab the phone and she doesn't have it. I still have my flyer as I walk away. So she's still distracted, and then my partner over here says, oh, I'm sorry you're not, sorry to waste your time. This time I have the phone. The phone that I'll probably take to a pawn shop that you paid $1,000 for, I'll get 65 bucks for. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you very much. Role players, everyone. Bravo, bravo. Using electronics on public transportation, never. Don't do it. And I hate to drag her out again. Ladies and gentlemen, the role player of the year, Harriet. Come on down. So, okay, so do not sit by an exit if you're using the cell phone. Okay? So you're distracted with texting, and right here is the exit, right? But she's, once again, we're not holding it. Maybe she does. Apparently she does hold it like a brick of gold. So you're not calling anyone, eh? No. Don't want to start. So she's playing Angry Birds. So
Toy Blast.
Oh, Toy Blast, Angry Birds, same breath. So when they actually stop, the bus is stopped, doors open, I grab the phone and walk out in a haste. How long did it take me? 2 seconds. So do not sit by the exit. Thank you. If you can, thank you very much. Once again, Vanna White, everybody. So it's things like that. You might want to not sit by the actual, even with iPads, even with your laptop. I've seen some people just sit there and just use the computer right by the exit, because that's the only seat there. If it's the only seat there, you got to balance what's it worth. Security, getting that report done, you got to think of the repercussions. Okay? Okay, how to carry a purse or briefcase. Why would I say carry it on a weak shoulder? So, once again, monetary value. We don't want you to fight with this person. If they want this thing, take it. Don't fight with it. Most people carry it like this. Safe, but when they grab it now, this isn't back in the day of my mom, back in the early 70s, where the actual string-strapped purse snatchers come and it breaks and it goes off. When they grab it, these are quality-made bags. And guess what comes with this bag? Yes. So you might, weak shoulder, right? Weak shoulder. And do I have the flap on the outside? Or do I have a flap on the inside? Inside, correct. And do I have it back here?
No, in front.
Correct. You want to keep it controlled. Okay, you want to keep the actual purse controlled. You want to have it in front of you. They take it. If they still take it, take it. Don't want to fight. You don't know what this person has, what this person possesses, or what this person is capable of doing. So when we talk about restaurants, how many people put their bag at restaurants back here?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, be honest. Thing with this is, it's a gift. Take it, please. Even when someone thinks they're right by it. So let's go back to Megabucks Cafe. There was a gentleman, and this was a while back. He put his laptop, his bag, and he turned around and ordered a coffee, if you will. I would have said latte, caramel. But he turned around, and it must have been less than 10 seconds from that person actually getting from the back of the actual business, and he just came in and grabbed the laptop nonchalantly, kept on walking, 7-10 seconds from the back of the restaurant all the way out. Seamless. So do not care here. Make sure you have it in front. Make sure before you settle, you might lose your actual space, but this place was empty. See, the proverbial bad guy uses this against us. We want to be comfortable. We want to be comfortable. We want to find that zone of comfort. And all I ask of you is to be conscientious. Until you settle down, you might have to wait for the table. Make sure you have it on you. Order your stuff, get your drink, and then settle in. Okay, here's another one. At a restaurant, you have to use the bathroom. How many take their purse with them to the bathroom? Okay. Do you put it on the hook on the door?
Yeah.
It's all right. We're here to learn. You put it there, right? So don't do that. Just letting you know, don't do that. Because once you're in a compromised position and you see this hand come over and then grab it, then you're in a compromised position, and then you basically are stuck. You might describe the person's hand. You might give time. Make sure you report it to the door. Make sure that, alert people that have done it. But if you can, put the purse, don't put it on the ground. Put the purse, if there's a toilet paper dispenser that has, a lot of them have the yep, put it right next to that and hold it up. I know it's inconvenient, but you don't want to be chasing this person out of the bathroom for your purse. Another thing is, how about this? Hooks on the bar, where you walk up and you put the actual purse or your bag on the bar. Has anyone? No? Once again, it's fine, but you have to be conscientious of the actual purse. There was a situation, had to be about 5 years ago, where there was a gentleman, I'm using that word loosely, that was walking around, and he was going from bar to bar, and he was sitting at the actual bar, and he was looking for the hooks. So this lady actually put her bags down and put one on the hook. He sits down next to her, and he had a sling. He had a trench coat, his arm was in a sling. So next thing you know, he sits down next to her, and she had to go to the bag. I don't know, she was going to show her friend something. As she's going to the bag, he had a slit right in his trench coat, and he was grabbing her bag. So her hand met his hand at the bag. And he basically took off running. So it's things like that. You just have to be conscious, be aware of the actual situation at hand. So, any questions so far?
Question, why over your weak shoulder?
Weak shoulder, because of your strong shoulder, you're going to be, usually when it's a tug, everyone know what the weak side is?
Both.
Well, well, you know what? Weak shoulder is you give in. You don't want to, sit there with your strong shoulder because you might pull back. We're actually I'm left-handed, so basically I'd probably go like this, and then your right shoulder, my right shoulder, would probably just give in, and then less reaction. So it's less force used. You don't want to sit there and fight this person. The best thing I can ask of you is get details of this person in a safe manner. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Some people will chase after this person. Story, retail theft, manager chases after this person. They did one of those kind of like smash and grab, but they grabbed all the actual stuff in the front, started running out. Manager followed in suit. This offender started running to the van, got to the van door opens. Manager still in pursuit, follows this person up to the van with whoever's else in the van, the partners of this offender, the getaway car, if you will, comes to the van, stops at the van, they turn around and spray her. Let it go. Get details. Get 911 on the line. Something happened like that, get details. So details are very important. Don't put yourself in harm's way. So another thing, store owners, just give you a heads up, if you're gonna put something out on display, two things, don't put your expensive merchandise in front, maybe one piece or two piece, just to show that we have this in back, because people walk in and grab. Another thing is, you wanna make sure from the cash register, you can see everything. Have a clear sight of your store, and if you don't have cameras, you can see out. So it's just, I'm covering some local business. So if you want me, if you know anyone that wants me to come out, and I'll take a look at the security measures in some stores if you want. So going on, I want to discuss gentlemen. And I don't see many gentlemen in here, but I'll discuss it anyways. Wallet. Not all of you have the Costanza 2000. So what would we do as far as security for the wallet?
Front pocket, not the back.
Front pocket, very good. And if you're used to putting it in the back, button up. But there's another thing you can do once you have this lovely brick in the actual back pocket. Anyone? Rubber bands. Rubber bands act as a tread. When someone's trying to pull it out, it actually slows the actual person from pulling out, and it prevents the lift, correct. So now I put this brick back in my pocket. I keep it in the front. Okay, for biking, jogging at night, or just biking, jogging in general. Okay, so at night, you want to avoid it if you can, or basically, same thing with jogging. If you do decide to go jogging at night, please. I know people lose themselves in their earbuds and their music and their Discman or their iPod, but do not, if you really need music, one ear. At least you hear someone coming from behind and it doesn't distract you. We lose ourselves. How many people here jog? Okay. Don't you go into a zone, or when you're working out or anything of the sort, when you go into that zone, you start to find yourself in a different place. So you want to make sure that you at least have one earpiece out, and if you do it at night, you might want to have a buddy system. Join a run team, right? You want to make sure that you're with someone. Buddy system is very important. You want to, if you can, try to change routes. And once again, know where your local police station is, fire station, or hospital. When you're jogging, make sure you have your self-protection mechanisms, your whistle, your shriek alarm, or you basically, once again, go with pens, keys, something that can protect yourself, okay? Don't wear headphones, and if you really want to wear headphones, wear just one of them, please. Just letting you know, because you won't know what's happening and you won't know who's coming or going. Once again, covering know the areas. And 911, please call 911. So, I know it's getting cold out, and especially in this area with car thefts. When you basically, I'm guilty of it as well, you start your car and it's outside, you in person start your car. Just safety tips, you do what you want. You can start your car when you get in the car, when you're secure in the car. When you walk to the car, make sure you look around. If you're in a garage, before you open the garage door, you make sure you're secured in your car, and if you can, without endangering yourself, start your car, then open your actual garage door. Mind you, make sure you secure the back door leading into either your yard or your house. So, now, when you're approaching your car, it might be at a mall, might be at your house. Once again, going with looking around your area. Even look out your window before you actually exit your house. Can't hurt. Plan alternate routes if you're being followed. Once again, going back to knowing where your police station is, your fire station, or your hospital. And if you feel like you're being followed and you need attention quickly, immediately, After you call 911, honk your horn. Sound your horn off. Make sure you draw attention to yourself. Why do I say make sure your vehicle is in good working condition? Because you never know where you find yourself and your car breaks down. And it might be in a criminally challenged area. Bump and rob. So the bump and rob is when a car comes from behind and bumps you. And what is our first instinct when a car bumps? You're upset. You're angry. You're like, didn't you see me? Before you get out, gain your composure. Psychological first aid will tell you breathing works. Concentrate on your breathing. After you get a breath or two, gain your composure. Look in your rearview mirror. Look in your passenger side mirror. See if the actual area that you're going to get out is safe, right? If you see someone that's actually creeping along the passenger side and you don't feel safe and you see the situation is going really bad, get on the phone, call 911, start driving. Let them know that you've been in an accident and that you don't feel safe and that you're heading to a police station. Tell them where you're at, and they'll give you where your actual police station's going to be. So you can't leave a scene of an accident, a crash. So this is what you're going to do. And then if you were mistaken, as long as you call 911, tell them what you're doing. This person calls up, hey, this person just left. They will know where you're going, and they'll know the location you were just at. Try to grab a street. Chicago Western, this person, got out of the car, and then I noticed someone creeping along the side. I didn't know what was going on. It looked like it might have been possibly a robbery. That's when you start heading to the actual police station. But let them know, because you're leaving a scene of an accident. So,
If you're the one being hit,
if you're the one being hit, but here's the thing.
I think with all this stuff going on, it's like you hear this all the time. They're doing it on purpose to keep out of the car. I don't think if somebody hit me in behind, I would not stop. I just go.
Okay,
Not that you're supposed to.
but here's the thing. Make sure you call 911. No, but you've been in an accident. So what you're doing is you're leaving. If you just drive off, that's fine. But as long as you let them know, because here's the thing: the person might have not looked, and 1,000 scenarios. But you want to explain to them what you're doing. You're going to a police station. So if this person figures, oh yeah, I don't know why this person took off, but you're covering yourself as far as leaving the scene. You're justifying why you're leaving. So these are just suggestions. And
No, I wouldn't know.
yeah, so you want to cover yourself because you don't know if you felt, and you described to them, hey, there's a person that was sneaking up behind my car, and this person was basically screaming and shouting, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and I looked in my mirror, and I didn't feel safe enough to get outside and exit my vehicle.
I would even do it like, considering everything's going on, I wonder what the person looks like. I'm not getting out.
Well, once again, you have to just let them justify. You have to justify on the phone why you're leaving a scene of an accident. I'm just telling you state law. So the smash and grab. Hey, I don't mean to move on. Any more questions? I know they're. No. Smash and grab. So suggestion: make sure you put your purse, bag, or belongings, valuables, holiday season gifts in your trunk. Do not leave them in your passenger side seat. Because you stop at a stop sign, you stop at a bus stop, you stop at stoplight, as you're sitting there, oh, this person bought an Apple lightweight iPad. Oh, nice, thank you. Smash, grab, take off. So they're seeing this. The same thing with when we go for shopping and we actually put our cars in the shopping mall. Don't leave anything out that says, hey, I just went shopping at Lincoln Town Center, now I'm at Old Orchard, here are our gifts. So you might, all your gifts and your belongings, make sure you leave them in your trunk. Okay? Any more questions on that? Okay. Using public transportation. Please, board transportation in a well-lit area, and at the same time, if you don't feel safe at a bus stop that you're at, walk to another one. Walk to, and at the same time, make sure you're on the phone with 911. Okay? Try to board transportation with as many passengers as possible. See if there's a crowd. Make sure you walk to that actual site where that bus stop is. Make sure you're with that person, the group of people that are waiting for. You want to make sure safety in numbers. So safety in numbers act as a deterrent. The biggest thing with the proverbial bad guy is they don't want to get recognized and they don't want to be witnessed. Because if they get witnessed, they get caught. So they look for things like that. They look for the nooks and crannies. Crime of opportunity. Remain alert when you're sitting on a bus. Once again, going back to the exit. If you're sitting there on your cell phone, do not. If you're sitting on your laptop, do not. If you're basically tweeting or whatever it may be, when you're sitting by the exit, try to sit by the actual driver or the conductor. Or if you can't do that, make sure you sit by one of the actual emergency alarms. So, whenever possible, sit on an aisle seat. Why do I say that? Correct. And guess who's going to be our? Sorry, here. So, yes, but you're here. You're here. So, here we are. I feel like we're Second City Improv. I'm taking your phone again. So, my role player is sitting on the window side. I'm the bad guy. So I see her sitting there tweeting with her gold chain and her diamond rings and her Coco Chanel bag. So I sit right next to her. Okay. So I put my arm like this. This is knife, gun, whatever it may be. She is what? By the window. She is sitting there. Where can she go? Okay. Now I have this weapon. So I go and I say it very softly. You move, you scream, you shout. I'm going to stab you or I'm going to shoot you. Do you understand? Nod your head. Don't say anything. You're going to give me your diamonds, your Coco Chanel purse, and you're going to give me your gold chain and the phone. And you're not going to say anything. Well, basically she's trapped. So if she was reverse, you know, you have to do a balancing. If you reverse, if you don't feel safe, just give your stuff up, give it to the person, but you can make an escape.
Do you think in a situation like, so this, like, it's a bus full of people, do you think
Thank
if
you.
you actually scream that the guy would actually, I know you're saying don't give up the property because it's not worth your well-being. In a situation like that, if she looks at him and says, and just starts screaming, you think, you know, in a bus full of people?
Well, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Are you willing to risk your safety on doing something like that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just a.
And sometimes you're dealing with someone who's mentally ill. It's a balancing of your safety, and I would err on the side of safety. Just letting you know. Just they're looking for that your chain. Just give them it. One thing is, and the public transportation has good video, really good video. So now you're taking a chance. Say she starts screaming, "Get away from me, get away from me!" Next thing you know, stab, shoot, or whatever. We were just talking about not putting yourself in that position. These are just safety tips, but you have to do balance. What is your life or your well-being worth a bag? Is it worth a gold chain? Is it worth diamonds? Is it worth the phone? It's one of those things you have to ask yourself. I mean, you could stick up for yourself, but once again, know yourself. First and foremost, know your actual limitations. Know what you can and cannot do. When faced with everyone reacts differently in different situations and when presented that. So that's a good question. It's just one of those things that you have to think through, and basically, and when presented with it, the old fight or flight.
Yeah, I know this
Okay.
How many of these people, because you don't know, and it's
Yep.
not worth it, but there's part of me that says, if people fought back, would they stop being so brazen? You know, because they just do it because everybody's fearful of them. I'm not advocating it, I'm just, you know what I mean? It's like,
Well,
are they just doing it because, you know, because, okay, everybody's gonna hand it over, because that's what the police tell us to do. And I'm not saying it's worth it, I'm just raising it up. I mean, it's like, if more people fought back, would they stop doing it? I don't know.
Not with that, I mean, I used to, before it was CVS, the Jewel here on Chicago Avenue, I worked there many, many years ago. And I was working in the service desk, and I looked out, and one of my cashiers was ghost white. Guy came up, had a gun, asked for everything in the, all the money in the register. She obviously gave him everything from the register, and afterwards when we were talking with her, she goes, I didn't know if it was loaded, if it was real, if it was what, but,
Oh, yeah, of course.
so I think it's just, when someone has a weapon, it's just instinct, I think, for your own safety, and they know that. There was one arrest, it wasn't here in Chicago, where the guy actually had a lovely fake, toy gun that looked very real. Wouldn't have hurt anyone, but no one knows that.
there are incidents where they've occurred where someone thought it was a fake gun, and then grabbed it, get that out of my way, and it literally went off. It didn't strike the person, but it's one of those things where, are you willing to take the chance? I'm not telling you to be afraid. What I'm trying to tell you is be aware. There are self-defense classes out there. We're actually looking into it as well. 12th District, USC Police has a actual self-defense class. I believe it meets once a month.
Are you talking about University of Chicago?
UIC.
Oh, UIC, I'm sorry.
There are other places out there that offer self-defense, but we'll look into it. We'll actually further that journey later on. But as far as using public transportation, please be cautious. Use good judgment. And if you start getting up, that's something. You don't want. Do you want to take that chance, or you don't want to take that chance? It's a balancing act, if you will. Any more? Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Isn't the driver of the bus supposed to call?
Oh yeah, no, that would happen too. But if I'm that quiet and she's basically being a cooperative victim, and I have that knife or the gun next to her, as soon as that person gets out and running off the bus or the train, you want to make sure that you tell the bus driver or press the emergency button, bring attention, alert, and then 911, and then the response from 911. Make sense? Okay. All right. Once again, if you feel you're being followed, track tension, read body language, facial expressions, clothing often mask a person's true intentions, walk in the middle of the street if you have to, well-lit areas, never walk through an alley, never walk through an alley. Make sure, there's too many hiding places that they can use, and I noticed someone just rolled their eyes when I said that, and as
I know I'm not supposed to, I just
the cat ate the canary look. Well-lit areas, make sure your neighborhood has well-lit areas. Clothing often masks person's true intentions. When you're walking, I know what the humanitarian in us all wants to give when I see someone going, can I have $1? Can I please have $1? Listen, if you got to donate money to people that are less fortunate or are on hard times, there's organizations out there that can help. So, for instance, I will person comes up to me, asks me for $1. So I'm going to give him that $1. So put my hands in my pocket. And usually for some reason, I'm sure there's some physiological reason, we tend to look down. We're trying to think if that's $1, $2, or what you have in your pockets. Meantime, he or she's watching you. You put your hands in the pocket. Now what? Where am I?
Vulnerable.
vulnerable, right? My hands are in the pocket. I'm trying to, even go for my wallet or go for dollars I have outside of my wallet. Okay, so I have nothing to protect myself, and I'm looking down. Next thing might happen, I might find myself face down without my wallet, without my keys, without my phone. If a person comes up to you, asks you for money, say, I give to XYZ organization that helps, why don't you go check them out, and they could probably help you. Same thing with, I know people don't carry watch anymore, and it's a great watch though. So I'm a big proponent of the watch, even though my watch broke. I mean, literally fell apart on me while I was playing basketball. Never play basketball when you're wearing a watch, because especially when it's not a sports one and a nice one. But it's when they come up to you and ask you what time it is. So there was an incident where I was actually coming out of a restaurant, and it was basically in an area where the street was with big Ben clock size clocks. So he walks up to me, and he comes directly up to me, and I'm right by this clock, and he asks me, he goes, hey, do you know what time it is? I go, right there. And he goes, oh. And he goes, do you have $1? That was the opening line for him. So I basically told him, no, I don't. But if there's an organization you want me to, donate to, if there's like Catholic Charities or anything that you want me to, you can go and get a hot lunch, or they could help you, assist you in furtherance. As far as purses are concerned, so a person comes up to you and asks you for $1. Once again, one hand goes on the flap, the other hand to go look, and you're looking in the purse. What happens? Hand holding the flap, other hand in the actual purse. Where are your eyes? In the purse, right? So now what? Next thing you know, face down, waking up without your purse, without your phone, without your keys. Things you have to think about. If you have something, if you do really fixed on actually giving the $1, giving the $5, have it ready. Just have that money. How many people have come off the public transportation and there's a person at the CTA stop, and he's, can I have $1? And they have the bucket, and they ask for $1. That's fine. First Amendment right says you can actually have a sign that says, can I have $1? As long as you're not following a person around. If a person comes up to you and asks you for $1 and you say no, okay? The First Amendment right is freedom of speech. They can ask you for that money. As soon as you say no and they continue, that actually goes into aggressive panhandling, which is a violation of a city ordinance. So they actually violate that ordinance. So things that you might want to think about. So if someone's actually sitting there asking for $1 off some public transportation or along the street, and you keep on giving them $, and they see you keep on giving $, it's just one of those things where it could lead to potential where there's incidents where you might have someone else, hey, yeah, this person came off the train and he had a roll of 20s and he gave me $1, but he has money. And he comes around 4 o'clock. You know, that can lead to other things of being robbed. So, walking in the actual middle of the street. I'm not talking about walking directly down. I'm talking about walking on the side, making sure it's well lit. Thing with that, you got to keep in mind too, you're walking by actual cars where they're actually dark spots. But if you're in trouble and you feel like you're being followed, try waving, screaming, getting the attention of the car. Try to bring the car's attention to you. I need you to call 911. There's someone following me. Grab attention to yourself. Also, the clothing. If it's a hot August day and there's a person in a trench coat and they're walking around, is that a problem? Yeah. Okay. It could be many things. Person could have some physical problem where their immune system's bad and they might need help, assistance. They could be mentally ill, or they could be walking into a place thinking about robbing it and they're hiding stuff. There's many things, but you can always call 911 to have someone come and do a well-being check to make sure this person's all right. But it's most important you make that call. Any questions so far? Revolving doors. Revolving doors. What is revolving doors. It is a right-hand crime. In Australia, it's left. No, I'm just kidding. You know, the water goes left, right. I have corny jokes. Sorry about that. Sorry, people. It's a right-handed crime. The reason why I say it, sometimes the pickpocket teams actually work in crews. They actually work with either 3 people, 4 people. By the time they bump into you, 2 or 3 other people have your wallet or have your purse or have your belongings or money. Right-handed crime, the actual revolving door stops. There's someone in the actual front of you as you're trying to go through. Person stops it and goes, hey, something's wrong with it. Looks frantic, and you're frantic too. But what that person is doing in the actual revolving door is stopping it enough where they're leaving enough crack where most of us basically have carry our stuff on the actual right side, our extra strong side. So it's there, the bag, grab the bag, pull the bag out, pull the wallet out, but you're stuck. And then by the time the actual doors swing around, this person in back of you that's coming from behind grabbed your purse and ran off. So if you can, when you're going through a revolving door, try to have things on your left side. Just tricks of the trade, if you will. Offenders work in teams, like I said, door only goes one way. Put your property on your left-hand side. So elevators. Elevators, make sure you stand by where? Front control panel. What was that? By the emergency button. If you have to, press all the buttons. If you have to get off, if you get off, you basically knock on the doors, try to grab attention to yourself. If you're on an elevator, which you feel uncomfortable, get off that elevator. Or wait, I'm waiting for someone. I'm waiting for someone to come, so you go ahead on the elevator. So if you don't feel comfortable, make sure you actually wait for another elevator to come by. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't get stuck in the back. A lot of people, our first instinct was going to the back and actually staying in the back because it's kind of comfortable, but no, stand by the actual control panel. The control panel, in case an emergency happened, you can actually put the alarm off. Oh yeah, no problem. So, yeah, so God bless you.
Thank you.
And going back to pickpockets, they work in teams. They're very proficient. Once they hit you, you might want to basically carry your stuff. Some people carry their purses underneath their jackets, right? And then if you get bumped into or get jostled, that's another thing you might want to make sure that you check your actual belongings. Once again, I got ahead of myself. I apologize. Don't give anyone change. You're not a bank. And do not give anyone the time. Once again, going back to that. In public places, in theaters. Okay, so story. Back in 1986, a very, very young lad, I went to see a movie, and there was 3 people in the movie theater. So I'm sitting in the middle, and I kid you not, someone sat 2 chairs away from me. I mean, this whole theater, there's like 200 people, and he sits right next to me. It was National Lampoon's Vacation, so it was the European vacation. But the thing is, make sure you sit in the middle because I got up and moved. I actually went to the bathroom, came back, and next thing I noticed when I came back, that person that was sitting next to me moved all the way to the front where there was that other person sitting way in front. Do not sit in the sides. Once again, going back to talking about public transportation, you don't want to trap yourself in that area. So, in restaurants and bars or clubs, we cover that. Once again, leaving stuff with a chair, leaving stuff on hooks. You don't want to do that. Make sure you have everything in front of you. Make sure you have all your belongings with you. ATMs, a holiday for thieves. Have your card ready. Okay? When you actually get money out of the ATM, make sure you don't sit there 100, 200, 300, 400. Don't do that. As soon as you get it, palm it. You have video right there. Make sure the actual ATM vestibule, make sure it's well lit. Make sure it has camera. And when you're using ATMs. Thank you. Thank you. Down 2 now. No, just kidding. Make sure you jostle the actual card reader.
Oh, yeah.
This is out there. If you didn't see that, where actually when you put it in, it actually skims your actual card number, scans your card number, and then it goes to a computer base where they actually have your information, and having a camera reading your actual PIN number. Okay, it's something that you don't want to do, and so anyhow. Try to be with someone. Always go to ATM. If you can, go to one of the stores, the actual drug stores or whatever, where you can actually get money back. Might want to, because there's people around, there's customers, there's actual tenants, there's clerks and such. So, all right. You guys, ladies and gentlemen, didn't know you were going to have a quiz. See, the two people that left didn't know we were going to have a quiz. So, okay, so perception and description. Age, height, weight, color of hair, describe it, color of eyes, 2 distinct facial features, clothing description, right or left-handed, ethnicity, tone of skin, any jewelry, extra credit, if they have any weapons, type of guns, first and last name. You can learn to describe person in 4 seconds, 4 seconds, okay? So, is everyone ready for the exam?
Sure.
Okay. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Describe Stanley.
A scar on the left-hand side.
Okay. Anyone else? This is the honor code here.
Dark hair.
We don't want you to guess. All right. We'll see how we did. Be honest with yourself. How do you think you did? All right. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Describe Janice.
Oval face,
African-American.
Okay. Tall, I mean,
Long earrings.
long earrings,
Greenish shirt.
color eyes.
Brown eyes.
Anything else? Any distinctive features?
Older.
How do you ladies think you did?
Longish earrings. Go with beige shirt, I guess. Suit jacket.
All right. All right. See, the thing is, way to actually do this is actually, it takes training. You have to quiz yourself. You have to basically do this. I used to do it in my young years. I used to watch TV, and I would watch that TV for 10 seconds, and then look at the person wearing news anchor, whoever it was, watching it, turn it off, and then I would describe it, write it down, go back to it. It takes some time, but it's to repeat it. It's very repetitive. It's an exercise.
I always heard it's easier to give a description if you like picture them, like what actress or actor or somebody that they look like.
So-
then you'll give a better description.
So as far as height, we will ask you, hey, how tall was the person compared to you? I'm 5'6". Person was roughly about 2 inches taller. So,
How would you describe these two people then? What's the accurate way to describe them?
well, female African American, roughly around 35 to 40 years of age. No distinctive marks. Basically, you want to keep it simple. Short hair, olive jacket, white shirt. And if you see the scar, you basically, whatever distinctive features you see. 1 1,000, don't say Santa Claus. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. Describe David.
That's David.
That's David.
I know, I was debating whether I was a woman or a man myself.
Describe David.
Kind of looks like a woman, blonde,
Older.
blonde,
so
white
70s.
hair, silvery hair with
70s.
would be.
Longer male hair, shoulder length, or ear length, curly.
All right,
Thin legs.
we're going to go back to it in a second. You're your own judge. How do you think you did?
Terrible ear length.
hair.
Really long sideburns, not that I know.
I had someone go. I had someone go one time. So that's where Elvis is.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. All right, one more.
Well, how would you describe him?
Elvis. No. Basically, male white, around 60 to 65 years of age, rosy cheeks, kind of hazel eyes. Basically, kind of, he had a full face, kind of heavy set. One 1,000, two 1,000, three 1,000, four 1,000. Describe Leotis.
Tattoo on the neck.
Hmm?
Hispanic male,
Okay.
probably
30,
30.
25, 30 maybe. Really short
Short.
buzz hair.
Remember, they're going to ask you, basically, what color, basically skin tone. It was kind of an olive tone, olive complexion, male, Latino. Basically, would you say cropped short hair, mustache, scruffy beard, tattoo on the neck?
Which said I couldn't read.
Oh yeah, no, you just say there was markings.
Okay.
There was actually markings on the neck. Descriptions actually help. So, how do you think you did?
Each time got a little better.
Oh yeah, no, you do this, the exercise, like I said, you can go there and look at the actual newscaster and then churn away for about 10 seconds and then, wait. Biggest thing is waiting because you want to make sure, and then you can write it down and then look back.
Skin tone and ethnicity is kind of hard though. Just because the could be,
So-
could be African American too.
Exactly. That's why skin tone, because you're going to ask you, how do you know if if they're Latino or Latina? They're going to ask you. So the skin tone was olive. Basically, you want to say skin tone was brown. There's certain things that you want to go through. So,
I just brush up on my skin tone.
and they're going to ask you, how do you know this person is Latina or Latino? Or basically, because here's the thing. There's actually black Latinos and Latinas as well. So it's one of those things. So build, fat, I'm filling out here on the fat thing. Husky, slim, muscular, hair, color, texture, style, complexions, color of skin, acne, marks, scars, clean shaven, facial hair, tattoos, piercings. So do not guess, please. Please, we've all seen the criminal genre, like sitcoms and NYPD, Blues, and Law and Order. Rather have three accurate guesses, because what's going to happen is if you start three accurate details, then 10 guesses. 3 details. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go to court, and a public defender or defense attorney is going to go, are you sure it's brown? Could have been blue. Then that opens a hole. And we've all seen movies and TV where they go, oh, well, how are you sure? And they try to discredit the witness. So we want accurate, detailed details. All right, thank you. And remember that a thief or an offender will take the path of least resistance, crime of opportunities. Make sure when you call 911, if it's happening in progress, okay? If it's happening at a time, call 911. 311 is for a report. Say you come in and realize that your bike was stolen, like you come back from vacation a week later and your bike was gone. 311 to get a report. And city service request as well. You can actually obtain that through 311. So, thank you, everyone. If you want, these are resources at chicagopolice.org where you can actually go out and check arrest and CompStat, and you also can find out what's going on, events in the 12th district and any district, if you will. We also go to we tweet. We have a Twitter. Yes, we do. If you haven't noticed, it's been pretty active. as of late. 311 non-mercy city service request, like I was saying before. Once again, I am Christopher Shank, Sergeant of Community Policing Office in the 12th District. You can contact us at 312-746-8306. And my email address is Christoph, CHRISTOPH .SCHENK @chicagopolice.org. So if you want to give me a call and you want to come by the station and talk, or it's something you need to discuss, by all means, you can call. You basically have an open door policy. You don't have to wait from beat meeting to beat meeting. We're actually going to do more educational series. We're also going to do Coffee with the Cop as well. Thank you. Have a good night. Any questions before I stop? Thank you so much. Thank you to CAN TV, and thank you mostly in the community. Thank you very much for your participation and support.